Sorry about that. It just comes over you in waves, you know. Them ice cubes won't last long in this weather, I know that. But they don't half help. I like the extra cold of them, you know, and the crunch. Helps take your mind off the sickness. I mean, some people can't manage the ice, you know, makes things worse for them. Starts them coffee, not that, and that. So they drink it warm water. Oh. This is the perfect spot here, because we've got a downstairs shower room and toilet. It's really handy, and I can just nip in. Good timing, really, because we had that put in about, 2 years ago, when I had my diagnosis. Well, that was my proper diagnosis, because they thought I had COPD at first. Apparently it's hard to put your finger on it, you know, IPF. I just don't know what brings it on. See, I've always wondered if it was the acid or the chemicals and the metals that's behind all this. I was a jeweller by trade, you know, and it was all around, all sorts of noxious stuff, day in, day out, breathing it all down, you know. Well, they say no, but nah, I ain't convinced myself. Nah, today ain't so brilliant. I woke up feeling sick as a dog. It's the medication that does that, you know. I mean, it's worse than the breathlessness, to be honest. I mean, I can cope with that. And that can help you with that. See, we've been going to this group, me and Linda. That's me partner in crime. Yeah. Once a fortnight, up at the Marie Curie place. When I'm on a good day, you know. Get out, have a bit of a laugh and a natter. Yeah. Does you good, do it. They teach you how to manage the breathing and that. You know. You gotta slow yourself down a bit, sit down a bit more often, not talk as much. I mean, Linda loves it when they say that. It says, it always claps, you know. Oh. This one fella, he put us onto Fisherman's Friend lozenges. Swears by him. So, I mean, I'll give it a go. Nah, they're brilliant. I don't know what it is exactly, but they seem to clear the airways, blasts them like, you know. They're a good bunch up there. A load of them have got this IPF, you know, and a couple of them are on the oxygen. Got these little machines that they bring with them, like. Nah, man, I don't need it myself, like, because, I ain't got to that stage, you know. Well, I suppose I'm lucky, really. Before we started going up there, I think it was only Linda and the girls knew I had it, like. Well, you know, just saying, my name's Leigh, and I got IPF, do you? People would think he was a raving lunatic. And there's no point going on about it, is there? Just got to get on with it. But I'm all right up there. And you can relax a bit, kind of thing. Just a bit. Sorry about that. Like I say, it comes in waves, you know, catches your out sometimes. That's why I'm sat out here. Better off out here. That way, if I am sick and I can't make it to the toilet, it'll be on the grass, not in the house. Because that's happened, you know. The once. I was sick on the rug. I was like the cat, coughing up a fur ball, you know. What a pretty sight. Linda was upset about that. I mean, to be fair, the rug was brand new. She'd only been on the floor a week. All cheap. I couldn't stop myself. Just come over me, you know. Well, I said it didn't matter, but I knew it did, really. So I've made sure that I get to the medication where you can sit out in the sun. So I can come and sit out here if I'm feeling a bit ropey. No, I shouldn't complain, mine, because he's taking these tablets that'll keep me going for longer, you know. Well, I had big plans for today in the garden. You get to this time of year and it all needs doing, you know. Because you want a bit of a countdown, you know. You see over there, got all sorts of things in the pots, and all I want to do is move them. Dig the soil over, do my leaf mulch, plant them in. That sounds simple enough, don't it? But that amounts to at least 4 separate jobs, and it'll take me best part of a week. Now, there was a time I'd have had all that done and mowed the grass in an afternoon. Still, no point moaning. I got all this from my dad, you know. Big garden of my dad. Oh, right character. Lasted till he was 91. Oh, I can't see me doing that. Just ain't going to happen. I'll think about me dad, especially when I'm in the garden. Linda says if I was to go tomorrow, that would be all right with her, because I've had a good life, done most of the things I wanted to do. I mean, there's 1 or 2 things like singing with Tom Jones, I done that. Well, for us, I just kept it blooming quiet. Nah, but I ain't finished yet, me. Nah. Too much to do. I mean, who look after me a little bit of land here? I mean, Linda's got 2 brown thumbs. I've only got a few weeks left, really, before the bulbs have to go in. You have to do it when the soil's still warm so you can properly tuck them in for the winter kind of thing. Got some nice big orange tulips to go in this year, and a massive bag of daffs. I love daffs, mate. Got them little faces looking up at you, you know. Cheerful, ain't they? Bright little things. Nah, you just got to keep going on, you? Hey? At least I get to sit out here in all of this. I love it out here, I do.
Showering is really difficult. I've got a seat, but just the same, it's difficult. I don't dye my hair now. All my friends say, you must keep it going. You had such lovely hair. We will do it for you. No. Too much kindness. Even putting on my clothes takes so much out of me. I have to keep the oxygen on. Oh, he's forgotten the shopping list. Never mind. I can text. My aloo paratha isn't up to my usual standard. Still, I'm sure Marianne will forgive me. She loves my Indian food so much. Remember how she always insisted I did the food for work events? It will be lovely to see her, but I hope she doesn't stay too long. It's not that I don't like her. I love her visits. It's just I get so tired, even with the oxygen. That will do. I used to have such a good appetite. Nothing tempts me these days, not even my own aloo paratha. Baljit finishes it off for me, so there is no waste. I call him the human dustbin. He doesn't mind. Oh, I love this. How I used to love to dance. Baljit and I were the life and soul of the Sikh Community Center. But then I got my diagnosis. 12 doctors came in to tell me at hospital. It still didn't really sink in until we went home and Googled it. We had never even heard of idiopathic pulmonary disorder. I suppose I didn't look after myself when we were on that hamster wheel of work and 2 kids. But then I heard my brother has got it too. And he does yoga and meditation and keeps fit. It doesn't make any sense.
Dunning Home.
I can't sing now, not even a hum. At least I can always read. Reading does not need oxygen. It takes me out of myself. The only time I really feel part of the world now is when I read. I used to love fiction and poetry, but not anymore. I don't want to read about things which aren't true. History and biographies are what I like best. I don't know why I worry. He never lets me down, so I never run out. But I always need to know I have enough. I dread becoming breathless. It's like a great big black cape closing in on you and squeezing you like a straitjacket. Then your legs start shaking, and then your hands. Is that what death is like? I wonder. I know my religion teaches me that after death we will be reborn in a new life. It brings some people comfort, but I can't believe it, really. I think when you're gone, you're gone. These are what gives me comfort. Baljeet is so good. He doesn't sleep separately from me, even though I keep him awake with my coughing. He says he won't leave me to struggle on my own. He just loves me, I suppose. And the music, of course, gives me comfort. Though I will do my best not to sing this time.
Sorry, Marcus, old boy. Got to wait to test my sats. You'd be proud of me, Nurse Ratchet. Sorry, Thomas. Those breathing lessons are paying off. Good boy. Don't know what I'd do without you, Marcus, my beautiful friend. It's you that gets me out for walks twice a day. I'd sit on my bum at home if it wasn't for you. Well, that's 2¼ miles. Nearly 2½ for my daily goal, Nurse Ratchet. Sorry, Thomas. I apologised to Nurse Thomas once for calling her Ratchet, because actually she's very nice, just a bit strict. But she said she didn't know what I was talking about. I said, one flew over the cuckoo's nest. She said, what cuckoo? All my jokes are lost on the young. Anyway, I would have gone 2½ miles if I hadn't seen a bloke I knew from work in the distance. I pretended I hadn't seen him and changed direction to go back round the pond to avoid him. I didn't want him to see the tubing under my nose for the oxygen. And then I'd get everyone from my old office coming round, asking if I was all right, all hearts and flowers.
I'm well-meaning, of course, but not my kind of thing. I'm a stoic, I am. The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. Marcus Aurelius. That's who you're named after. Marcus Aurelius. My hero. He said, not you, Marcus Aurelius that is, even tragedy should be treated with indifference. I can't say I'm indifferent about having IPF, but I do believe you can control your emotions and not get all sentimental about it, and rationality can help you through. But now I'm in a bit of a pickle, aren't I, Marcus, old boy? Whenever I go anywhere, I measure the proposed distance and the inclines and how much exertion it's going to take and how many litres I'll need. Now, today, for a walk with the dog, that's you, Marcus, on the flat, I've got 3 outings of 8 litres. Now I've taken a longer route to avoid embarrassment. I need to rest. All because of my pride. At least I've got a spare litre in the car. Sorry, mate. No can do. I'm pretty useless, aren't I, Marcus? I wish I could repay you better. You're my lifeline. I have to walk you twice a day. Pam can't do it. You pull on the lead too much. One time you pulled her over and she didn't want to do it again after that. I always do my 2.5 miles round the park. I'm pretty fit, really, for someone with IPF. Not for the person I used to be. In the army, keeping fit was an occupational hazard. The amount of injuries you get in your officer training. And then, when I left the army, I kept it up. Did the park run every Saturday, come rain or shine. I used to do really well. Nearly topping my category every week. For a while, after I was diagnosed, I tried to keep it up. Walking it. No way could I run. But then I saw the chaps I used to run with, and I was so embarrassed I couldn't go back. So I came to this park instead, which is a little further from home, so I have to bring the car to make sure I do my 2.5. Pride again, you see. I love trees, I do. Loads of different types of trees in this park. Oaks, chestnuts, beeches, silver birches. What makes the world go round, Marcus? Not love, not money. Photosynthesis. Carbon dioxide in, oxygen out. People take it for granted. I did. And now I value every breath. Oxygen. The stuff of life. From your first cry to your last breath. Amazing. There's tears in my eyes. Where's my stoicism now, eh, Marcus? Good thing only you can see me cry. I need exercise for my mind now as much as for my body. Sanus corpus, sana mental. our school motto. Don't want to sit around moping all day, thinking about how IPF is a progressive disease which will eventually kill you. Because let's face it, life's a terminal disease. We're all going to pop our clogs eventually. Apart from the IPF, I've had a good life. Dad died when he was 55 and Mum 72. And I'm already older than that, so I'm doing well. But the canister in my rucksack is the key to my quality of life. It's my fuel, if you like. It means I can walk you, Marcus, and do things around the house to give Pam a break. Sometimes even walk the hills with her, like we used to. And they might be taking it off us, the oxygen, this fuel of life. Nurse Thomas told me that NICE, these medical guidance people, the National Institute for Clinical Excellence, needs proof that ambulatory oxygen clinically benefits people with IPF, that there isn't enough evidence that it does. What sort of proof do they need? Aren't I living proof? When I was in the army, we went potholing and we got stuck in a cave. It felt like hours, but probably only minutes. As it happened, we got rescued. But I'd like to put these nice guys in a cave, just for a short time, to see what it feels like to be running out of oxygen. Oh, we can only give you one canister because it's too expensive to give you more. Because that's what it's all about. Money! I know I should write him a letter. All rational and persuasive. Because that's what the real Marcus Aurelius would do. But I can't. I haven't got enough energy. Plus it matters too much. You see, Marcus, at the end of the day, I'd say to the nice people, you don't know anything like high diving, rock climbing, you name it, until you've actually experienced it. I mean, experienced living with it. Living with it, not just meeting people with it. Time to go home, mate. Sorry, mate. Still a bit slow. Good thing you don't need ambulatory oxygen, old boy. We'd never get to the car. I've been thinking, Marcus, old chap. How many breaths does an average person take in a lifetime? What are your views? Dunno. Perhaps I'll ask Alexa that when we get home.
So this is my office.
Okay, yeah.
You can come in here.
Right, great, yeah.
Most people have finished for the day now, so it should be a lot quieter. I can spare about half an hour, if that's okay.
Oh, yeah, fine.
Then I've got to go and pick up the kids. But I wanted to do this, because if this helps other people, then that's important, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm just thinking now then, where to start. Look, I'm just going to dive in, if that's okay. My mother, my mother was 72 when she died. Well, that's no age at all, is it? She died in the June 2022, so just over a year ago now. You know, I can't believe a whole year has gone by. It feels more recent somehow. The time's strange, isn't it? He's talking like this now. I'm right back there. I'm right back there. I'm sorry, I told myself I wasn't going to cry. I was determined. Now look at me. I'm sorry. We'd never come across IPF before. Idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis. Idiopathic because it's individual apparently, and they don't know what causes it. And pulmonary fibrosis, scarring of the lungs. It's kind of ironic in a way, because in this part of the world, South Wales, you know, we're all used to lung and respiratory problems because of the coal mining. I mean, historically, they were so common. There was always someone coughing and breathless in a back room of an old terraced house. Length and breadth of the South Wales valleys. You grew up with it. Dust, they called it. Well, and of course it killed them. But IPF, no. Nobody ever mentioned that. Oh, it just seemed so unfair. She'd never smoked, she hardly touched alcohol, she looked after her diet, and was really a very fit and healthy person. It was a shock. Her getting that diagnosis pulled the rug from under her. Well, I think it pulled the rug from under all of us. It was winter time and she'd been feeling rough for quite a while. Difficulty breathing, coughing. She was off her food. It had gone on for months. Now we managed to persuade her to go to the doctors, finally, and they took her in for tests. I think they wanted to eliminate things, you know. So they did a lung biopsy. Well, that was how they diagnosed it. Of course, she wanted to know how long she'd got left. She was always very practical and realistic, my mother. They said it was hard to be really accurate, but somewhere between, 3 to 5 years? It was 3, actually. Oh, to say it was a difficult time is an understatement. She was always a very strong person. She was fiercely independent. No, she never asked for help. She just never seemed to need it, to be honest. I used to think she was so good at everything, you know? When we were children, right, my father worked shifts and long hours, so half the time it was like she was a single parent. She did everything. As well as going out to work 3 days a week. And she did all the cooking and the cleaning. And she made these fantastic cakes for weddings and christenings and things. And you'd often see her sitting in the evening knitting or crocheting. I don't know how she did it, to be honest. Oh, I got this particular memory of her. It's just come to me. It's just so typical of her. Wallpapering the front room. So I must have been about 9 or 10. And there she is, right? She's up a ladder with a massive piece of wallpaper. Almost bigger than she is. She was quite small, my mother. And she's already pasted it, you know, and she's hanging it. Letting it all gradually unfold bit by bit and drop down. While sticking it and smoothing it onto the wall with a special brush. Like an expert. And she got me to foot the ladder. I don't know where she learned to do that. You know, wallpapering. I can't do it. Oh, that's my phone. I've got to keep an eye on it. Oh, it's okay. Nothing that can't wait. After the diagnosis, well, she just changed. She became very agitated, very anxious about everything. Panicky, you know. She was often very short of breath and, well, I think that really frightened her. She stopped wanting to go out. She pretty much stopped eating as well. I mean, that was the hardest thing. She lost a lot of weight very quickly. Well, food became a big thing, actually. And I regret now. I regret not trying to get her to eat. I had to do that. But the way I did it, I know I wasn't all that nice about it sometimes. But I was anxious and it was hard. It was so hard to see her wasting away in front of me. By the end, she was completely emaciated. Her mobility went as well. Well, I suppose she just didn't have the strength. And the medication, which was supposed to slow down the process, didn't. Just made her feel sick. She didn't want to see anyone either. And she'd always been so sociable, you know. I thought a lot about this over the months. Really, I think it was about not wanting anyone to see her in that state. So, you know, diminished. Well, I managed to get her to come and stay with me somehow, just for the week. And during that time, we made some very hard practical decisions together. Got things sorted about her care. Where did she want to live? I offered to have her here with us, but she didn't want to come to Cardiff. She said she'd miss the view of the hills from her bedroom window. We discussed a care facility near her, nice one, but she didn't want that either. She just wanted to stay put in her own home, where she'd been happy. She decided she'd live upstairs. Well, she set herself up in the bedroom, you know, the radio, telly, phone, books, everything all around her. All close to hand, you know. And she, well, very reluctantly agreed to carers coming in. That was hard work getting her to agree to that. But she knew she needed it, so they came in, must have been for, 6 months. Every single day, 3 times a day. We went to see her, of course, weekends and other times, as and when, you know. She refused to have oxygen because she felt that meant the end. Oh, I might have helped her. I don't know. I think she thought that if she stayed still in bed and didn't move, she wouldn't need it. Oh, I'm just so glad I wasn't on my own with it all. That there was me and my sister. I just don't know how I would have managed. She had to relocate to a hospice in the end. She chose the one she preferred, and luckily they were able to accommodate her. They were all so good in there. Marvellous people, every single one of them. And her GP, well, there's no words. She was just so fantastic, so caring, just so human, you know. She even came to Mum's funeral. You couldn't have asked for more from any of them, really. But, and I have to say this, even they struggled to know how to manage things for Mum. How to help her, you know, with the breathlessness and the panic. It's like there was no compass, no framework of care about IPF. Nobody seemed to know what to expect or what to do. And there seemed to be this huge gap between the consultant saying, I'm sorry, there's nothing more we can do, And all that time until she died. What were we supposed to do? I mean, where was the guidance? We were all of us, right, muddling through the best we could. But surely somebody should have known more. Oh. I sat with my mother in the hospice for the 5 days leading up to her death. She was in a coma by then. It was a very strange time. But also a great privilege to be there. Does that sound odd? I found myself holding her hand, brushing her hair, talking to her, telling her stories, reading to her, playing some of her favourite songs, laughing, crying. What must I have looked like doing all that, with her just lying there? But it felt so important. It was my chance to have a proper goodbye. Oh, I hope that helps.